What's a going on, mother cluckers? Old Don B out doing some errands. All right. First of all, I want to say thank you for all my subs, members, and everybody that just watches the channel. One very good way to support me that is free of charge is just to watch the video all the way through. All right, now let's get in. This is going to be kind of a longer one, maybe, but as the title says, BRYAN KOHBERGER, Telltale Signs 2020. So we've got people that have went to college with BRYAN that said his personality changed after the crime was committed. People that knew him in college said, people that knew him then and after the murder, said he was a little more animated and exhausted. He wanted everyone in class to know he was intellectually smart when it came to the Idaho 4 crime. So, and we seen this, they were talking about this after the crime. They had some FBI specialists and people like that on there, and they were talking about, how someone would be acting that may have committed the crime. Matter of fact, let me show you the video here. Well, actually, it's not a video of them. Just listen to what this FBI specialist says here.
It's actually kind of similar in the sense that if you start edging up towards psychopathy like that, it's all about grandiosity. It's how big they can make themselves look, how smarter than everyone else they are, and it's a total lack of empathy that they have, which makes it really, really challenging to see this in a community. It's why these things can go on for a while, because when someone's not exhibiting a deviation from a standard normal behavior that someone that has committed something like this would generally have, that makes it really hard to see. And so that grandiosity starts kicking in, and they might want to flourish it. They might want to get some sort of psychological reward out of this for themselves, to say, look at me, look what I've done, look what I've accomplished, look who I'm getting over on this.
All right, so it's kind of interesting, hindsight 2020 now, looking back at, what FBI behavioral specialists were saying, detectives, just random criminologist people. And these are professionals. It's kind of an interesting look back 2020 now, hindsight 2020. But guys, thinking about all that, and and you've got, BRYAN in your class. It'd be easier to point the finger at someone that looks like they could have committed that crime versus someone that doesn't look like they committed the crime. And I think maybe that's why BRYAN may have went under the radar as far as post personality changes. We'll see. It may come out that people did report his suspicious behavior to the police, but more than likely they didn't, just because he just doesn't look like the type of guy that would commit the crime. I think that's how he flew under the radar, post personality changes. Let me know what you think. And the person that was in his class said that he kind of like had a fascination with people knowing his intelligence. So he wanted people to know that he was extremely intelligent. So, what happens now? Well, he may actually hire a criminal defense attorney. His parents may help him hire a criminal defense attorney. But, in a way, ultimately, Bryan is in control of who represents him. Could he represent himself? And play games? I know there's going to be a trial. I just have a feeling Bryan will want a trial so he can play his little games and try to prove to people how intelligent he is. And I'll say it again. I think the dude's batshit crazy. And the apple didn't fall far from the tree when it come to his dad, probably. His dad was exhibiting some pretty odd behavior, his siblings say. I'd like to know more about that. I'd like to know more about Bryan's father, Michael. Their little drive that they had. Y'all heard about that little drive that Bryan had with his father, Michael? I'd like to know a little bit more about that. I know the police know. I know the police know all about it now. But I'd like to know a little more about it. So he may very well want to represent himself to try and prove to people he's smart, and in his mind, he's going to outsmart everybody and be exonerated. And in closing, guys, the family made a statement. And I don't know if you heard this or not, but the family made a statement. They said, "We have cooperated with police in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence, rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions." So are they going to help? Are they going to try and help Bryan get exonerated of all charges? Because he's denying all involvement. He's denying involvement in the crime. So according to the statement of the family, it looks like it says they have cooperated with police in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence. What sun's right in my freaking eyes, guys. So anyway, what do y'all think? Looking back now, hindsight 2020, with what the professionals have said about him and the post behavior of the crime, I'm sure he did exhibit a lot of like this. If people caught on to it. Like after the crime, people were saying that he was more animated, and more exhausted. I'd say he was exhausted, because I bet you from day one or prior to the crime, knowing Bryan now the way we know him, he This is definitely premeditated, guys. In my opinion, it's premeditated, and in my opinion, maybe even before the crime happened, he was planning his defense and how to mess with people, how to mess with the cops. Now he's going to try to figure out how to mess with the judge and jury. He thinks he's smart, guys. He thinks he's smart. And he was studying under the woman that I think may have done an interview with, BTK. And didn't BTK represent himself? Will BRYAN represent himself? Or will he hire a criminal defense attorney to pick apart the weaknesses in the case? This case ain't perfect. There are weaknesses in it. There's weaknesses in every case. And as a criminal defense attorney, or someone looking to be exonerated, you want to pick apart those weaknesses. And another thing that got brought up recently is there was a court order for the house to, they paused the cleaning on the house. Right now, I'm thinking there's 2 weaknesses in the case that a criminal defense attorney could go after. Well, 3. You got contamination, and then you've got where they extended the crime scene out instead of working out and going in. They extended it out, so there's risk of contamination there. And then, did they start cleaning the house too soon? And remember, they were taking stuff out of the house and returning it to family members. But yet, as police put it, they pretty much had everything they needed before the cleaning process started. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the court order had something to do with, well, there might be some more evidence there that we can get to prosecute him with. Guys, I don't, like I said, there's no case that's absolutely perfect. There are weaknesses in every case. So, think about that. Will BRYAN try to pick apart these weaknesses himself? Or will he hire someone to help him do it? We shall see. We shall see. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think below. Thank you for tuning in. See you on the next video.